Bon après-midi, il est temps to boire un verre quoi? We're having a select cocktail. It's my favorite. Just the select bitter aperitif liqueur from Venice with a little bit of prosecco and no spritz water, just the prosecco and the select. It is my favoriteest non-glass of wine glass to wind down with out there, besides wine, of course. But this is always a good day for me. It's my Friday. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and Friday's kind of a gimme day, so there we have it. That is beyond refreshing. And I gotta tell you, been having so many issues connecting to the Guardian. I finally decided yesterday to play with my VPN, or flight this morning. I mean, I gave up yesterday in anger. I finally was able to play with the VPN, and when I set myself in London, guess what? It works just fine. So now I got to remember to do that. You know, I got to remember when I want to be in Dallas and when I want to be in London and when it behooves me to be right here in Bavaria. So we'll see about that. But it's great to be back. And as always, my name is Christopher, and I'm delighted that you're here to solve this with me. Every day is a crapshoot when I do the Guardian. Get punched in the mouth, or I get slapped in the face, or sometimes I get the win. Yesterday I got punched in the mouth. If you did yesterday's grid, I think it might have been the chorister and lurex. It was they sing in the stalls, and then the lurex apparently is some sort of fabric that has got some sort of a metallic braid weaved into it. So that is on my list of things to learn. But nevertheless, I always learn something from the Guardian, and it's always a blast to do so. So a little bit more Solver's courage, and then we'll get right into this grid. Okay. Very carefully. Very carefully. There you go, Yank. You got it. Okay, so reason one's red-blooded. Got 11 letters. That's hemoglobin. Unless you're like me and you're Generation X and you were told that we're red-blooded only when we bleed, because then it's exposed to the oxygen and that's when it turns red, which nothing could be further from the truth. But nevertheless, it's hemoglobin. So I don't know what we're shooting for here, because hemoglobin is a 10. Oh, that's right. Okay. Hemoglobin. I gotta remember the quirks in the way I spell as a Yank and the way Brits spell as Brits, right? So have a quick look. What do you think? Is it a peep or a peak? I don't know. Eaton hairstyle. Oh, I know what this is. That's the crop, isn't it? Yeah. It's the crop. Can't remember. Was it Orwell that had that as a young man when he was at Eton, or I don't remember. I can't remember. I know there were several famous people that wore that in the day. Interesting. So I guess we got a peep here, which is nice to get that taken care of with the crop. Adulation. No, nothing yet. Rotated. It could be a whole lot of stuff, so let's just see. Oil processing plant. It's probably a refinery. I'm always taking a second look to see is that how they would spell it? Airborne 2. I had a sergeant major friend in the British Army, and he was in Special Air Services. Seems like he might have mentioned that once or twice, but I'm gonna have to get around to that here. I was in the Army. I was in the American Army, but I was a cavalry officer, so a bit of a difference. Anytime, 8 letters, maybe whenever. And okay, so far I'm feeling good, which means I'm probably gonna get, the living crap kicked out of me here. See Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Wright's musical, first produced in 1978. That's right. And later in the 1990s, I did believe we were talking about Evita. I do love musicals. I am a man for musicals. Yeah, and this is looking like a paratrooper. And the sergeant major would be proud of. At the time, he never knew me as a captain or higher, but he knew me as a lieutenant. Lieutenant. Whiskey and a biscuit. And I guess we're talking about bourbon. Bourbon. No, we don't say bourbon in Yankland. I just like it because I'm a bit of an Anglophile and a Francophile. I love French and I love all things English, Welsh, Scots, Irish, just that whole area up there, northern or otherwise. I love all of you. I think you're just fabulous. Signs of absence. Don't know. Brandenburg or Notting Hill. 4 letters. The only thing I can think of would be a gate, right? I don't really live near Brandenburg Gate. It's about a 5-hour drive. It'd be about a 3 hours on the fast train, but I haven't been up there yet. Been living here for many years, but hadn't got around to Berlin. So if that is gate, then maybe this is gaps. So far, this feels like a puzzle that was kind of made for me, so I'm enjoying it. It bears no relation to what's just been said. This is a favorite term of mine. Again, this is one of those grids that was just made for me. But now I got to remember how to spell it. I say it all the time. Non sequitur. Non sequitur. Non sequitur. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to have to think about that. I don't remember how to spell it. I never spell it. I always say it. Because really, how many times does someone just butt into your conversation and have an opinion that doesn't even go along with anything you're talking about? It's like, okay, I appreciate your non sequitur, but just move along now, right? So whatever. Remedy. Ooh. Okay. Plentiful. Maybe abundant. And so, this is probably a nostrum, which I really don't know if it was much of a remedy. Is it more of a hoax, right? Japanese noodle dish, and I think we're talking about ramen, or what every Yank college student who's poor eats for 4 years while they're going through university. Main 8. Eat it with a soft-boiled eggs, my absolute favorite breakfast at the Royal Wessex Yeomanry Officers' Mess in the morning. Get on that collared shirt and head downstairs for the soft-boiled eggs and soldier. I had no idea until I got there to serve with my brothers in the yeomanry that a soldier was a strip of toast. Kind of fun. So main being 8, and I think this must be dominant. So far, this is pretty good. So sudden decline. Maybe a slump. I don't know what else could go there. I'm sure there's plenty more, but I'm not seeing it off the top of my head. So what do we got here now? Rotated. I don't know. Adulation. See that H and that P at the back and this H and R up top? This tells me hero worship. So, okay. Work hard. I don't know. I don't know at all. Rotated. Twirled, maybe? It didn't seem like that was going to fit for some reason in my head, and it does. So I got to think about this worked hard thing, but I have a feeling there's not much point in thinking much about it, because generally speaking, like even when I was stumbling around at 14 across on the nostrum, I kind of had an idea that's probably what it was, except I was kind of fighting with the idea of the remedy. The remedy being kind of telling me that this is something that would actually, remedy something. And I don't really know that nostrum, and well, at least my working knowledge of the definition doesn't work that way, but I always have some idea. Like I was thinking swirled or twirled or something for 9 across, but this one I haven't got a clue. And so I'm just going to save everybody the heartache, and we're going to go ahead and just do a quick check all to see if I got what I got right. Sequitur, maybe? So I didn't get that, so I misspelled that because I don't remember how to spell it because it's a very odd word for me. So non sequitur, we got corrected to an I, so that was the first punch in the mouth, and I don't know what this is, but it looks like otherwise we were okay. So let's go ahead and reveal this. Graft. Graft. I don't know. I guess the only way I know this word is to take something from one piece of something and you sew it or place it or glue it or something onto another thing so that it'll grow, you know, like skin graft or whatever. You can take pieces of trees and stick them to each other and they'll keep growing. I mean, it's fascinating stuff, but I don't know work hard as graft at all. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna have to dig into that one. If anybody knows, please. Neil, help. If you're watching, Neil, you help me with graft. I have a feeling I'm gonna look this up and I'm gonna see splicing something onto something, and I don't know. So this may be a bit more idiomatic, maybe a bit of an argot based on your diverse culture up there in the UK. I have no idea, but a fabulous grid, and it brought us together to solve again, and it made me discover the value of the VPN. So let's go ahead and toss this one out of here, and we'll bring down our bagnade d'adieu. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much for everything. I appreciate the new subscribers. I appreciate the likes and the comments, everything. I just appreciate it more than you can ever know. I love this community. I love both the Guardian group and the New York Times group. It is just such an awesome pleasure to solve with you every day, to wind down with you, and just to hear from you. It's fabulous. On yesterday's New York Times, I had the former Miss Ohio commented and said some really nice things about her and her fiance Javier. Like, I get to know people, right? You know, and some of you are famous and some of you are like me, just people who get up and take a shower, brush their teeth, put their clothes on and go to work, right? Come home and, you know, I don't know, do a crossword puzzle, right? You know, normal stuff. So regardless of whatever that may be, I appreciate you being here. I love hearing from everybody. Thank you. And until I see you tomorrow for the Thursday grids, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, servus, grüß Gott, ciao, Cin-Cin, au revoir. Be good to yourselves, be great to your neighbors, and be phenomenal to the person behind you in line. Take care now. Be well.